Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the kingdom, or welcome to the kingdom. If you are new here, hi, I'm Karen with two R's. Nice to meet ya. Hi, guys. Welcome to the kingdom. This is your host, the one and only King Core. Welcome. I'm so sorry I didn't do an episode last week, okay? And I will tell you why shortly. Um there's just a lot been going on, okay? Classes are starting to pick up, it's midterms. Like I just launched my clothing brand and I've just been, working on like orders and stuff, as well as schoolwork and also trying to like do YouTube in the meantime, which isn't an excuse. I asked for all of these myself, and by the grace of God, all of these I've kind of seen that I can do that, which is just a message for anyone out there. Like, just you can do it. Like, anything you put your mind to, you really can. Anything that I think you validate yourself by going after your ideas, which is something that I've learned, is that I get nothing from thinking about something I want to do. I get so much joy from actually doing it. So, yeah, and it's a good way to, feel good about yourself, but also like reestablish the idea that you are capable of doing things. So, I'm not even mad about all these adventures that I've been putting on myself. It's just a lot because sometimes I think I can do it all. And I can. I mean, I am doing it all, aren't I? But it's just hard to manage, and I think I just need to find a good balance between like working hard but not working too hard, and like maybe taking a break but not being too lazy. It's just I never know the line to cross. It's like, okay, I'm resting for this much, but am I resting too much? Or okay, I'm going, but am I going too hard? So but honestly, I just lied to you guys. That's not the reason why I didn't post an episode last week. The true reason why I didn't post an episode last week is not because I was too busy, which I was, but I could have found time to, sit down for an hour and, you know, talk. But I just was in a bad mood all last week and like the week prior. And it's so weird because this is such a monumental time in my life. I just published, or not published, but like brought into the world something that I've been curating for the past couple months and I've been thinking about for a year now, which was the brand. And if I could finally I finally saw people's reactions. I finally, you know, like got the ball rolling and I should be happy, but it was the, I don't want to say worst week of my life because maybe I've had worse weeks, but I cannot think of a week where I felt that bad. And oh my goodness, even thinking about it right now makes me feel bad. But I'm not here to bring bad news. I'm here to tell you how I overcame it, okay? So last week I was just down bad, like, and I just, the idea for a podcast, every time I thought of a topic, I'm like, that's not what I want to talk about right now. The only thing I wanted to talk about was my feelings and how terrible I was feeling. But then I was like, I don't know if I like always come on here and complain or always come on here and say that things are going bad. Like, I want to tell you guys when things are going well. I don't want to just come on here and say like, oh, I've been crying all day, even though I do tell you guys that I cry a lot, because I do cry a lot, you guys. But whatever. So I didn't want to like. Every time I thought of an episode idea, because I have a list of ideas, you guys, like a ton of them. I'll just be there and they'll come to me and I'll write it down, right? So I could have just picked a topic from my, topic ideas list and said it or like talked about it. But the only thing on my mind was the weight of this heaviness that I was feeling, that I couldn't even bring myself to talk about anything else. Like, I knew that if I picked up a mic and said something, it would have just been like, just bad. Like, I was just feeling terrible. And one thing that I'm learning is that I am allowed to feel terrible, you know? I I think I wasn't allowing I think I was in such a terrible feeling slash mood for the whole week, because if I had allowed myself to feel it thoroughly, maybe the feelings would have passed, like, in a day or two. But instead of allowing myself to feel bad, feel sad, feel hurt, feel the pain that I was feeling, I tried to suppress it. I tried to suppress it by saying, you don't have anything to feel sad for. Look at all you're accomplishing, and look at all you're doing, and life is great, and the joy of the Lord is your strength. And just trying to feed myself these things that I didn't believe to be true at the time. So I wasn't allowing myself to feel the hurt because I was trying to downplay it, trying to say, like, oh, you're wrong to feel this way and you shouldn't be feeling this way, which is so bad, you guys. Like, if you're feeling bad, you are allowed to feel bad, because whatever you're feeling is probably valid. You're probably feeling bad or feeling hurt for a good reason. Like, the body isn't stupid. The brain isn't stupid. The brain knows when it's hurt. And when something is hurt, and instead of you maybe putting a band-aid on it, or maybe, actually, no. Instead of you to maybe apply some medicine to the wound and try to take care of it, you just place a band-aid over it, right? Let's say you just got a really deep cut and you're bleeding, and the cut is very deep. Instead of maybe putting, like, maybe some salt water, some alcohol, some, what's the thing called, neosporin, like the little ointment, instead of treating it, you just pretend like it's not there. It's going to take forever to heal, rather than if you had just treated it right then and there. So that's what I should have done when I started feeling these negative feelings, was to get to the root of it and understand why I was feeling this way. But every time the feeling surfaced, I pushed it aside. And every time it surfaced, I pushed it aside and kept pushing it aside, and wasn't allowing myself to feel it deeply, till one of these nights I just broke down and was like, yo, like, just admit that you're hurt over this thing and move on with your life, which I had to do. So, yeah, I was just, yeah. And I can't really get into why I was feeling hurt, like, too deeply, but I think it was, not I think, I know, it was from a lot of different reasons. It wasn't just one thing, but I think it was things that were piling up over time. But all in all, it was just a feeling of hurt, pain, betrayal, lack of love. And, like, I was just feeling very insignificant, unimportant, small. I was feeling small. I felt like I was nothing. Yes. That's what I'm looking for. I felt like I was nothing. I felt like I meant nothing to anybody. Nobody cared about me. Everyone was just neglecting me. Because that's what it felt like. I mean, those were the reactions, or those were the feedbacks that I was getting from a lot of interactions that I held important to me. I held dear to my heart, or people that I had made so significant in my life were just making me feel very insignificant. And it just hurts. It hurts when you put people on like a pedestal, or you put people, like, in a higher priority or rank in your life, and they don't place that same value on you. And you thought they did, right? So then you find out, oh, you actually don't care about me like you've made it out to be. And this isn't even about one person. This is about so many people that have just been treating me like I'm nothing. And I don't understand where this is coming from. Like, I really don't understand where this is coming from. I don't think it used to be like this, but I feel like recently people have just been trying to make me feel small. And now that I say this out loud, I'm realizing that I think people wish you well until they see that maybe you're going a little too far. Maybe you're doing a little too good for yourself. Maybe you're going a little too beyond the box that they put you in, or maybe you're exceeding their expectations too much. They're like, okay, calm down. I said I wish you well, but I don't wish you too well. Like, they want to see you do good, but never better than them. I think that's where it might be coming from, or maybe some of them, but I don't even know because I've just been like questioning my whole existence and everything that I believe to be true, like from the Bible. I was wonderfully and fearfully made. I'm here for a purpose. God loves me. All of this stuff. It didn't feel true the whole of last week and the week before. I just felt so not important to anyone. And it was just a very shitty feeling, like very, very painful feeling. And I haven't felt like that in so long. I don't think I felt like that since like maybe freshman or sophomore year of not college, when I had like experiences with people who did the same thing to me. So now that it happened again, I just was getting flashbacks, to past events. And I'm like, dang, like, is it me? Like, is it me? Like, why don't I matter to anybody, Which is so false because I know I matter to people, but like, I was like, I guess I don't matter that much, I don't matter that much. I guess so. That's where the feelings were coming from. Feeling insignificant and feeling not enough. Like, feeling not enough because of the way people treated me or made me out to be. And yeah, it's been just a reoccurring event or a reoccurring like thing in my life lately where people just act like they don't give a bleep about me at all. Yeah. Or don't give a bleep about the things that matter to me, the things that are important to me. People just who I thought is supposed to matter to them too just don't care. And yeah. Yeah. That is that on that. So that's why I was feeling just that. Those were my feelings last week and stuff. And it's normal. I think what I'm learning to understand is that I can't just the joy of the Lord is my strength out of everything. Like sometimes you have to sit in your feelings and get to the bottom of it. And as much as I love God, and as much as oh my gosh, he's the only one that's really gotten me out of this. Let me just put that out there. If I did not have God, I don't know how I would have gotten through last week. Like, it just was just a comfort to rely on. But I realized I couldn't just do that right away because I had to really understand and process what I was feeling before. And I also had to understand that it is okay to feel bad sometimes. Like, just because I have God on my side doesn't mean I'm not going to feel bad, I forget where in the Bible says this, but it says like the rain falls on the righteous and the unrighteous as well. Where did I see that? The rain falls on the unrighteous. I'm Googling it right now so I can give you guys the exact quote. Oh, okay. It is Matthew 5:45. And it says, that ye may be the children of your Father that is in heaven, for he makes his sun to rise on the evil and the good, and sends rain on the just and on the unjust. So basically saying that whether you're good or not, whether you're living holy or not, whether you're living righteous or not, whether you're living for God or not, whether you even have God in your life or not, you're gonna be happy and you're gonna be sad. The sun's gonna shine and the rain's gonna rain. Like, it just is human nature. And that's something I really had to learn. Like, wow, I'm really gonna still go through things. Like, I thought I was untouchable because I have God by my side now, but no, things still hurt. And things are still allowed to hurt because we have feelings, and things are allowed to hurt. And I should I should allow things to hurt me, so that I can like really process it. Because if I don't allow it to hurt me, then I'm just blocking off everything else. I'm blocking off healing as well. If I don't feel the pain, how am I gonna feel the joy, right? So that's what I kept trying to, tell myself. Like, listen, just admit that it hurts, and just because you have God in your life doesn't mean that you're not gonna be hurt by others. Like, the only person that's not gonna hurt you is God. But as long as you're human walking this earth, you are going to get hurt. You are going to feel betrayed. You are going to feel sad. You are going to feel pain and anger and disappointment and heartbreak. Oh my goodness. Heartbreak. A lot of my feelings recently were heartbreak. And it's just gonna happen, guys. You just have to get used to the fact that it will happen. What makes this easier is that I have God by my side. You know, what makes it easier is that I have the word to go back to and read, and I have sermons to listen to pull me out of things, and I have godly friends to call me and be like, hey, listen, like, speak good words over my life. So I always have God to fall back on. But I still am going to go through stuff. And I was listening to a sermon, not a sermon, but a YouTube video by Chad and Tori Masters. And they said something so good. They said that in order to experience God in all aspects of life, in order to experience God in his wholeness, experience all different sides of God, you have to experience all different sides of life. You can't experience God as a comforter if you don't go through a period where you need comforting. You don't experience God as a provider if you don't go through a period where you need provision. You can't experience God as a healer if you don't ever get sick, You're gonna have to go through all these things to understand that, oh, God is also this, and God is that, and God is this, and God is there with me when I was here, and God was there with me when I was here, and God can be there with me when I'm there too. It gives you insight into the future, like, yo, no matter what I'm gonna go through, God is gonna be right there because he can do all things. He can heal all wounds, So do not be scared of the hurt. Do not be scared of the pain. Guys, literally, I really was like, wow, I never want to feel this pain ever again. It felt like my heart was ripping out. I wanted to crawl out of my skin. I have never been so, I don't know, it was a mixture of sadness and anger over something. And I was just like, wow, like, okay, God can take this away too, It just shows me that God is there through it all, right? So yeah, that is a little bit about what I've been going through this week. And I just want to tell you guys a revelation that I had. For so long I've been thinking, okay, what is this next episode going to be about? And I keep saying, Holy Spirit, give me topics. And I'm looking through my topic ideas and nothing really felt right. That's why I didn't post, like I said, because I was waiting for something to connect with me, because I can't give you guys stuff that I'm not connected with, every episode that I upload is because I feel connected to it, and it's coming from the heart and it's coming from the spirit, so that it can touch you guys' heart and your spirit. But if I'm speaking from my flesh or just my knowledge or pure just me talking, I don't think it's gonna really touch anyone. Also, this podcast is not visually recorded because I lost my camera today. Yeah, sad stuff. But I'll tell you the events that led up to me losing my camera. So, I'm very happy to announce that I am feeling the complete opposite of everything I just described in the past 18 minutes. I am feeling so alive, so rejuvenated, so important, so capable, and so loved. I am feeling so many good things. And I'm just so happy because I understand that I have to feel the bad stuff to be able to feel the good stuff. If I don't feel anything at all, then I never feel anything at all. If I block out all my emotions, then I just don't even feel the good stuff. But if I feel the bad stuff as intensely as I did, then it is possible for me to feel the good stuff just as intensely. And let me tell you, I am feeling good. I am feeling good. And I really have God to thank for this because, wow. So, As you guys know, I am a big fan of Montel Fish. If you couldn't tell already, his songs are in literally every YouTube video ever since I discovered him. And for a while, he'd been posting about this art gallery slash show that he was having. And I've been seeing it on my page, but I kind of just, blocked it out of my mind because I was like, it's in Brooklyn, New York. Like, I live in Massachusetts. Like, how am I going to get to New York? I mean, I have ways to get to New York, but just going to New York, you have to find transportation there and back, and you have to find a place to stay, and hotels are so expensive. So the idea of going did not even cross my mind, right? And then it was the night where I kind of broke down, like, broke down. And I saw that he posted about it again. And immediately I bought a ticket. I didn't even think about how I was going to get there. I didn't think about where I was going to stay. I just booked the ticket. I'm like, I'm going. I'm going because I need to feel something. And the title of the event was Do You Feel the Connection? And I just like the Holy Spirit just told me you need to go. I don't know how, but I just felt it in me that I need to be there. Like I need to be there. First of all, it's an art gallery. You guys know I love art galleries. Well, if you don't follow me on Instagram, a lot of pictures I take are art galleries, and I started going to museums just to be like trendy, like take pictures there, like um people do on Instagram and stuff. But then the more I went, the more I found myself interested in the art, and I felt like art really speaks a lot more than words can say. And art comes in many forms. There's art in YouTube videos, there's art in music, there's art in poetry, but like there's also art in painting. And I found myself, getting inspired by these paintings or, these pieces of artwork, finding out what led the artist to create this and the process behind it, and everything was very like cool to me. So I've just been loving art galleries ever since. So the idea that it was an art gallery already like excited me. And then the fact that he was performing, or I mean playing some new unreleased music, was just like it was like the best combination I've ever heard since peanut butter and jelly. Just kidding. I actually hate peanut butter and jelly. You will never catch me eating peanut butter and jelly, so I don't even know why I made that reference. I just thought maybe you guys would like peanut butter and jelly. What other combination can I say? Other combination is really good? Oh, Gary and Gary and peanuts. Yes. Art gallery plus Montel fish was a better combo than Gary and peanuts. If you don't know what Gary and peanuts is, I feel bad for you. But okay, I don't feel bad for you. It's okay. It's fine. It's just a West African delicacy. Or about enugusi soup. Ooh, that's a good combo though. Even though I've never had it, I've heard it's good. Maybe fufu and peanut soup. That's also a good combo. Okay, enough about combos. Um, yes, it was a good combo. So I was like, I need to go. I need to go. And I realized I needed to go when I realized that it was a 3-day weekend. So I was like, oh, I actually could go to New York and come back without, having to like really struggle with time because I have work. Like I started a library job at my school I started last week, but like I was like, I have work on Mondays. So like if I go, it was a 3-day weekend. So it gave me a lot of room to really think about, what I was going to do in New York, how I was going to go, blah, blah, blah. And then the cherry on top was that my friend Nick was visiting my other friend Nasia because they're dating. And they actually met through me. I'm just going to pat myself on the back real quick. Even though I probably had no, like, I don't know. I don't want to say I don't want to take credit for somebody's romance blooming. But they did meet in our room when we were, when I was a sophomore, and Nasia was my roommate, and Nick came over for something. I think he was recording a video for me, so he came over, and then they met, and now they have been in love. Okay, let me not talk about them because they probably don't listen to this episode anyway, or podcast at all. Okay, let me stop talking. No, let me not stop talking. Let me keep talking, but about something else. Nick was visiting Nasia this weekend. That just happened, this 3-day weekend. So then I was like, perfect. I have a ride there and back because he's leaving from our school. So I just was like, yo, like, when you're going to New York, can you take me with you? Because there's this art gallery show thingy that I got to go watch or I got to go see and stuff. And he's like, sure. So essentially, I just rode with him, but I was going to be alone for the most part, which did not bother me at all. I've always wanted to do that, alone in New York for a couple of days, 24 hours type thing. I've always wanted to do that. I felt that it was so liberating, and the circumstances or the feelings that I was feeling last week really made it important that I go by myself. Like, you really go by myself to just connect with myself, because I think I was feeling so much pain and hurt from other people because I had put so much emphasis on who they were in my life, and I feel like I had placed my identity with the fact that I was with them, or I had placed my identity in them, you know? I had placed I associated them with happiness, and I associated them with good feelings, and I associated them with a lot of things that I needed to find in me, find in God, but also find in me. And I needed to build solitude. I needed to, like, get used to or enjoy being alone so that I don't feel as hurt when I'm alone. So it was really important that I went by myself, even though I did ask a girl to go with me. I asked a friend that I recently made, super, super sweet. Shout out Lennox if you're listening to this. Actually, like, one of the coolest people I've ever met. But I had asked her to go with me, and she couldn't, which was good because I wanted to go alone initially. And it was good that I went alone because I did, connect with other people and all that. So let me just talk about the event. The event was called Do You Feel the Connection, which is the title of this podcast. And, leading up to it, I was very excited. I was like, wow, I'm going to see Montel Fish perform, and I'm going to go by myself, and I'm probably going to meet a bunch of other cool Christian creatives, which is just exactly the space that I want to be. And what I love about just who Montel Fish is, or just his aesthetic, is that when I decided to start this walk with God, he was kind of one of the first people to really show me that, like, I could be exactly who I was and be all about God at the same time. This was a young black boy who was all about God. Like, I mean, if you watch all his old YouTube videos from like 4 or 5 years back, all of them were about God. He's just talking about his walk with God, and they were so insightful. And I was like, wow, like, so vulnerable too, and so wise. And I had never seen something like that before. I had never seen someone who was proclaiming the love of God in like their own creative way. And it showed me that he was really relying on God for like creativity and ideas, and you could see God in him, in the way he spoke and in the art that he made, and even in the music that he made. He also made my walk easier because I had like fun, cool music to listen to that were about God. So that's just why I love him. He really like helped this walk with God become so much easier, because I was like, oh, I can be exactly myself and love God wholeheartedly and talk about God, but also keep aspects of my identity that matter to me, and I can find creativity through God. So he really showed me that. So I was excited to go to, because not only do I get to hear his music, but this is someone who's had such a huge impact on me. And I knew that I would find cool people there, because only cool people listen to Montel Fish. So I knew that I would find, make a couple of friends, connect with people who are in the same space. Because, I mean, if we're all going to this event, it's because we all feel something from this music or this idea of people coming together. So I knew that I would find people that were about God, but also about art and fashion and creativity and all of that. And those are just everything that I love. So I was excited to go. I put on my best outfit. He told us to wear blue, so I kind of did a little like blue moments. Looked very good, if I may add. And I went, and it was just such, I don't even such a good night, you guys. Which is probably why I'm so sad about this vlog camera being lost, because the vlog was amazing. I met him. We had a couple conversations. I also met Lucas Lovejoy, the guy whose art we were looking at, who's also crazy talented, like insane. I just was looking at his paintings, like, how does somebody's mind come up with that? And like, how do you do? They were so intricate and every detail mattered. And it was just like, wow, like, there was so much thought into it. I was like, dang, this is a lot of work. Met his manager. Uh, yeah, we talked a couple times. It was just a good vibe. And then I met some of the coolest people as well. I met my new friend. Her name is Loretta. She was Nigerian. She's by herself as well. So it was easy for me to, like, we just kind of clung onto each other the whole event because we were both by ourselves, both African. She just had a cool vibe from the jump. Like, as soon as I saw her, I smiled at her. And then we started, like, conversing. And it was, like, just immediate friendship from there. And she offered to take pictures if I needed it, which was, like, music to my ears. If you offer to take pictures for me, please, I will marry you. You don't get people offering to take pictures. Usually I have to ask people to take pictures, and they kind of act like, like bothered or like, I don't know. I don't like people, like, a red flag for me is if I ask you to take pictures and you act annoyed. That's a big flag, red flag. Automatically, I'm like, I can't trust you, because why don't you want to take pictures of me? So when someone offers to take pictures for you, that's like true. Like, that's a real one right there. So yeah. And then I convinced her to go speak to Montel, because a lot of people were shy. You guys, he was just right there, like he cool dude. Like, everyone could just go talk to him, but a lot of people were shy, from what I was noticing. So yeah, I met Loretta. She writes poetry, and just such a cool girl. Her name is lovingly.lo on Instagram. So go follow her and stay tuned. She's going to post about mental health stuff and all that. And then we also met another guy named Eric, who was a writer for Forbes magazine. Can you imagine? And he's also such a cool dude, very funny, very chill. And yeah, it just was like, I felt like I just met the people that I was meant to meet. And I feel like what I went there for was accomplished. I went there to feel connected to people. I went there to make connections. And I went there to enjoy art and music. And all of that was just, every spot was hit, okay? Every spot of mine, every emptiness of mine was filled. But the main takeaway from this event was the question that they asked, not do you feel the connection, which is a question that I've been internally asking others lately, because I feel like I meet people and I feel like we're always on the same wavelength, but then I come to find out that we're not, and it's always like, did you feel the connection we had? Like, do you feel the connection, or is it just me? Is this just one-sided connection? And I think a lot of the times I have thought I felt a connection, or maybe I had felt a connection, and I had thought that the other person was feeling the same connection, but they weren't. So just a tough situation. But they had a question on a sticky note, and the sticky note said, what do you feel most connected to? And you had to, like, take a sticky note and write it down and, like, post it on the wall. And as soon as I saw this question, I was like, it made me think. I was thinking for like 2 minutes. I was like, what do I feel the most connected to? And I looked on the wall and people were writing Jesus, family, friends. Somebody wrote this moment. Somebody wrote, the names of maybe their significant others, or names of family or something. People are writing all different things. But it really made me think and was like, what do I feel most connected to? What do I feel most connected to? And in the end, I ended up realizing that I feel the most connected to love. The whole concept of love attracts me. I feel the most connected to love. I feel more alive when I'm loved, or when I'm giving love and receiving love. Love in its purest essence is what I'm connected to. And it's funny because God is love, you know? Everything about God is love. They don't say God is love for no reason. God is truly love. Which is why when I'm connected to God in my most intimate moments, I feel safe and sound and happy because this is where I belong, in love, embraced in love, encompassed in love, surrounded by love. I love love. So I ended up writing love. I feel most connected to love. And I think I was feeling so bad prior to this event, and for the past weeks, was because I felt like the love that I had for others, or the love that others had for me, was depleting. I didn't feel a lot of love. I didn't feel loved. You know? When you're feeling not significant and unimportant and small and not enough, like I described earlier, it stems from you not receiving love. But then it makes you think, why am I dependent on people for this love, you know? Why can't I go to the true source for love? Because that's where love comes from, God. But instead, I was depending on these people to give me love. And when I wasn't receiving the love that I needed or depended on them to give me, I just broke down, you know? And I had the horrible week because I was being depleted of love from human sources, you know, sources that I shouldn't be looking at, you know? It's nice to receive love from others, but you have to understand that sometimes people will love you and sometimes people won't. And love is not a constant thing. I think you choose to love others, and choosing to love others just comes in different ways. It comes in like how you prioritize them, the things you say to them, how you stand up for them, how you stick up for them, how you maybe comfort them or are reliable to them or give services, or love comes in many forms. And I felt like I was being depleted of love from people because people were not showing love to me, and it broke me. But when I had to think about this question, what am I most connected to, love made the most sense, because without the love that I thought I needed from other people, I felt so disconnected from this world. And I was walking around aimlessly like an empty shell. Like all I was feeling was dread and pain and not enough love. And in that room at the event was just love. It was people who love God coming together to celebrate Him and to celebrate art from other people who love God. And it was just such a loving environment. And the people that I met were so full of love. And even if maybe they weren't feeling loved like I was in that moment, they still gave it. Just how I still gave love to other people, which was so fun and so cool to witness that the room was just so full of love. I don't know how else to describe it. It was just so full of love, and it really filled me up. It really did. I also met four girls actually came up to me who watched my channel, and then two of them asked me for a picture, which is the coolest thing because I'm here for I'm here for somebody. I'm here to see an artist that I really like. But then they are there too to go see him, but then they end up running into me and were like, "Yo, what's good?" And then ask for a picture. So in that moment as well, I felt loved. I felt like, wow, I'm all the way out here in Brooklyn at an event that isn't even about me, and other people are recognizing me. That's really cool. So yeah, there was just love all around, and it made me think like I need love. Like I thrive on love. I need love to survive. And where can I get constant love? The true source of love. Because if I look for love in others, sometimes I may just be staring at a blank slate. Sometimes it won't be there, and sometimes people's actions will counter what you think love should look like, right? Which isn't, people have their own reasons for doing stuff, same way I have my own reasons for doing things. But when you look for love in people or in people's actions and you don't see it, you have to turn to the person who you will see love from all the time, which is God, which is Jesus. So yeah, that was a big question of the week, was do you feel the connection, and what do you feel most connected to? I feel most connected to love, and I've realized that I need love to be happy. And if God is love, then I need God to be happy, you know? I promise before I started this episode, I was like, okay, guys, I know I told myself, I was like, okay, no preaching, just talk about experience. But I can't talk about my experience without talking about God. So here we are. And yeah, there was just love all around. And I think the message for this podcast or this episode that I really want to convey is that it's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel neglected. But what I've also come to understand is that what you feel is not what you are, you know? Last week I felt insignificant. This week I feel like I can conquer the world and that I'm on top of the world, you know? So what is true? What is true is what God says about you. That's what's true. That's what you need to look to. Because I can feel shitty and I can feel ugly and bad and worthless one day, but that doesn't mean I am. I am not at all. In other ways, I can feel like I'm better than everybody else. I can feel like, I can feel these crazy high emotions, but it's not true. Feelings are fickle. Feelings change easily. Feelings come and go. What is true about you is what God says you are. So, although it's okay to feel a way because it's probably a valid reason that you're feeling that way, learn to remember that your feelings are not you. If you feel not enough, it doesn't mean you're not enough. It just means you feel that way. You are enough. If you're feeling insignificant, unimportant, all these things, it doesn't mean you are all of them. It just means that's what you feel in that moment, and that's fine. Just understand that this is what I feel in this moment, but that is not who I am. You are loved. You are important. You are great. You are so capable of anything you put your mind to, And sometimes we cease to realize that we are alive and the world around us is so big, right? So big. When I went to New York and I connected with all these people and saw all these people, there full of joy and stuff, I realized like, wow, the world is so much bigger than these problems that I've been harboring for the last week. Like the world is so much bigger than that. There's people out there who will be receptive to receiving my love and will be welcoming to also give me love. There are people out there, there are cool people that you're going to meet. Like, not forget, but like, don't worry about all these people that you think aren't giving you the love that you deserve. Like, there's so many people out there who will give you the love that you deserve and who will show you that you're important and significant and good enough. And you will meet people out there with different passions and different walks of life and different stories that make you realize like, wow, like this world is so much bigger than my problems. All I have to do is go outside and connect with others. And sometimes we're just stuck in our feelings and stuck in this negative cycle and this negative loop in our heads that we forget that there's people out there who can relate to us, who will talk to us, who will connect with us, who will share our joy and our pain and our love. And we don't have to be here alone. We are not here alone. There's so many people in this world. We're here to connect with each other. People need people. And that's one big takeaway from this weekend was that I need people. And because the people that I thought I needed weren't there for me in whatever capacity that they should have been or could have been, I just had to connect with other people, And also understand that you can really get true love from one source. Steadfast, steadfast, unchanging, strong love. And I'm remembering the song that goes, and I will build my life upon your love. It is a firm foundation. Sorry, my voice is not the greatest. But it says, I will build my life upon your love because it is a firm foundation. And that is so true because I need to build my life on God's love. I cannot build it on anybody's love because I've realized how quick it is for people to withdraw love from me. And I am capable of withdrawing love just as quickly from other people. But there's one person who will not pull the rug from under me and who will not um deplete their love, and I can always find excess abundant love from him and him alone. And yeah, that is that is my message for you guys, is that just find what you are most connected to, and you're going to understand that even if it's, maybe if it's not love, if it's your work or creativity or in all anything, I don't know, whatever you feel most connected to, maybe your family or anything, all of these things are given from one true source. So essentially, we are all connected by this one true source, and it's him we need to look for or look up to, for a lot of things. There's a verse in Psalms that says, I look up unto the hills, from where does my help come from? Let me look it up. From where does my help come from? My help cometh from the Lord. Yes, right here. Psalm 121 verse 1. I lift up my eyes to the hills. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of the heaven and the earth. And it's so true. Like, so true. I couldn't turn to anybody else because the people that I could turn to were the people causing this pain. So I just was like, damn, like, I can only look to one person right now, So I'm here to tell you that, one, it is okay to feel the negative emotions, because you need to feel the negative emotions to also feel the good emotions. How are you going to differentiate from them if you don't feel anything at all? If you always feel happy, you're not even going to enjoy or cherish the moments where you feel happy, because it's a constant thing. If you always feel pain, you're not going to realize when you do feel happiness, because all you think or all you feel is pain. So it's kind of a balance. We have to feel both in order to feel both truly and genuinely. And I'm understanding that it's okay, and I'm actually glad when I feel these intense negative emotions, because it reminds me that I have the capacity to feel strongly as well. Number two, what you feel is not who you are. You are allowed to feel negative emotions, but that doesn't mean you are the negative emotions. Do not let your brain or the devil trick you into thinking that you're these things when you're not. I almost thought I was nothing, but I am everything, and I mean everything to God, So what you feel is not who you are. And it's okay to not feel good one day, but that doesn't mean you're not good. You're good. You just don't feel good that day, So your feelings are not who you are. Three, connect with other people. There is so much joy and love and warmth that can be found in other people. And as much as maybe people themselves are the ones that cause you these negative emotions, people as well are capable of making you feel strong emotions. I mean, happy emotions as well. So connect with people. Go outside. Talk to a stranger. Ask about people's lives, compliment somebody. Start a small conversation. The world is too big to live in your own little dark bubble the whole time. When you look up from, your head down and look up and you look around, you're going to notice what life is. Life is people needing people. We need people to do anything. Like, this world will not run if it wasn't filled with so many people. Look at all these jobs we have. People need people. Just look up and talk to somebody. Share something with someone. Give something to someone. Do a favor. Lend a helping hand. Learn about somebody. Ask questions. Connect with other people. And then I guess the last thing is that there's hope, because there's God. As long as God is alive and as long as you are alive, there is always hope, and there's always love to be found, and there's always joy to be found. Okay? Alrighty. That is all for today. Big shout out to God for letting me go to this event and having these realizations that the world is so much bigger than what I presume it to be. And also I was hearing, the stories, and there's an artist also that performed. Her name was Sophie the Homie. Such a bundle of joy. So beautiful. And she sang before Montel came up, and she was sharing, the story behind every song. And Montel was also sharing the story behind every song. And a lot of these songs were about losing yourself and heartbreak and losing someone close to you and things that are not happy. But here we are enjoying this music, enjoying this art, enjoying their singing and their talents and their gifts, but it all stemmed from something bad that happened to them. Like, he would have not made this song if he didn't go through this heartbreak. She would have not made this song if she didn't lose her dad, you know? Like, all these things that we were able to enjoy, it came from a place of hurt and it came from a place of pain. So sometimes it is okay to be in that place, because that's when you turn to maybe a talent or a passion or something to get out of it, and that thing will help you and help others. I always say that you go through things to be able to help other people go through things as well. So they all of them had to go through all these ups and downs of life to be able to create this art that we were enjoying in the room. All the art stemmed from pain. Some of it stemmed from joy, but a lot of it was from pain. And it's like, dang, like, you can get hurt in this world. I just saw that. Wow, like, look at people that I even look up to and enjoy their music. Like, he can go through pain and he can feel the same sadness and heartbreak that I was feeling. That means that I can take and turn my pain into, I want to say gain just to be corny, but that's not the word I'm looking for. Turn my pain into a source of hope, something that I can cling to. I can turn that pain into something to help other people. Like this podcast, I'm turning the pain that I felt into advice and lessons that I learned so that you guys can, learn from it too. So yeah, there's hope as long as there's God, and there's hope as long as we have each other. So yeah, I hope you got something out of this. I love you. God loves you. But yeah, I love you. But most importantly, God loves you. That's what I'm trying to say. Most importantly, God loves you, because there might come a day when I don't love you, but God will always love you. So yeah, love God and love others. That's my motto for this week, or hopefully for the rest of my life. Thank you guys for listening. I'm so glad I was able to come on here and say something, because I really did not think I was capable of making an episode. Like, I really didn't think so. So I'm glad for these experiences and how I've been able to make them into an episode. And I hope that it helped you, and I hope that you took something away from this. As always, don't forget to DM me or comment on Instagram or YouTube, what you think about this episode, or if anything touched you and any experiences that you relate to. Let me know. I love connecting with you guys, on DMs and stuff like that. I always try my best to respond. So, yeah. It's 4 a.m. on Monday morning, because this is just how these things go. I will talk to you guys later. I hope you have a phenomenal week, and I hope that if you are feeling any sort of negative emotion, I hope that you're able to pull yourself out of it. Turn to God, and maybe, not maybe, He will help. Not maybe. There's no maybes about that. He will help. But yeah, I hope you're able to, also find joy in other things, in passions of yours, and in people that you're surrounded by. All right. I will talk to you guys later. Thank you. I love you. Talk to you guys next week. Bye-bye. Oh, shopdeathtosolve.co, okay? Bye.